Good day and welcome to Inside the African Community. I'm Steve Badier and my guest today is one of the leaders within the African community, very eloquent, outstanding young man. He's no one else but Mr. Joseph S. Autridge Jr., who is the current chairperson of the Liberian Youth in Australia. Welcome, brother.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, so as a chairman of the Liberian Youth in Australia, so you represent every youth of Folica youth,
yeah.
Something like that. Just talk to me a little bit about yourself first before we go to the youth.
Like you rightly said, my name is Joseph S. Autridge Jr. I'm a recent graduate from Central Queensland University.
Thank you.
Just completed my Bachelor of Business, major in Human Resources. Yeah, I am the current chairman for Folica National Youth, and Folica is the Federation of Liberian Communities in Australia. So I represent on the national level as the chairman. So yeah.
What are some of the issues you address as a chairman?
Yeah, as a chairman right now, what we're trying to do at the moment, because like this is a very young organization that is in its infant stage, that came into life, let's say, from the past year 26 in Adelaide. All right, although the vision was there to establish such an organization to motivate or to inspire young people, but then it came into full run when we had the Judah 26 in Adelaide. So right now, our position right now as an organization is that we are trying to build relationship. That is building relationship on the national level and statewide with different youth networks. All right, okay. That's what we're trying to do at the moment. We're also trying to identify needs. All right, so we in the process of conducting our extensive need analysis. Okay. Because the first thing is that before you can actually do something for someone, you firstly have to know what that person needs. Yeah. So we're on the process of identifying needs, and I have a very good team of guys who are serving on the national leadership, like Emmanuel Flomo, who is currently the chairman for the Victorian National Youth. Yeah. In Melbourne. I got Princess Willicom. She's in SA here. She's serving as the treasurer for our national youth body, and I got Julius Sawyer in Western Australia. Yeah. He's a PR officer, and yeah. So we developed a team, and the team is trying the best to see how best we can liaise with the community. So at the moment, we know there is needs within the community with young people, but we haven't built or establish a program or develop a program yet to meet those needs. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But like just talking about needs, like from a human perspective, we all have needs. Yeah. But like the process of developing, like identifying needs, what do you do next after identifying needs? Okay,
what we do after identifying needs is to develop implementation plans. All right, because you don't want to meet needs or meet someone's needs and fail in meeting the needs. So you have to develop a constructive implementation plans, so that in that implementation plans we will have to look at what kind of program that we can design. For example, let's say we identify the needs of South Australian youth right now. The needs might be they need education, or they need voluntary involvement, okay, on the community level. So it means that we as organization, we come in to assist in the particular needs that they actually want. So what we do, we come in and we use our strategies, okay. We develop a strategies to say, okay, since this is the needs these guys want this guy want, so we come in with the strategies and implement a perfect strategic plan to meet those needs in a very strategic level. So we don't fail, because the last thing we don't want to do is to fail. Yeah.
Okay, so like with Eric just identifying your needs now, I just want to take it back to the issue of support, because that's one of the things you're going to need to address the needs of the youth.
Yeah.
So how supportive has the leadership and the community as a whole been to the Liberian youth?
Yeah, from state level, I'll first of all discuss in state level. Like last 2 weeks, we had our first national theater conferencing, and then we were trying to tap into what have been going on in terms of rapport with the various states youth and their communities, and what tapping through that, people like youth leaders, the voice of concern, all right, and some of them also voice or how supportive their parent organization have been to them. For example, the SA Youth, they really put the thumbs up for Pee Wee, which is the chairman here, that he been very supportive, he been very instrumental in their development as youth in South Australia. Yeah. So he been doing extremely job. You know, he always willing to help. He always willing to listen to them. And the same thing can be said for Western Australia with Nyanfo, and Bill, who is the youth chairman there as well. He put hands up for Mr. Nyanfo. That Mr. Nyanfo have been very supportive. So the community at large has been very supportive to the very youth in trying to develop them to be the next future community leaders, as well as supporting them in their programs and things that they're undertaking. Okay,
so let's just look at the role of the youth with the upcoming program. July 26th is coming up. What do you look forward to accomplish as a youth, or what roles are you going to play within the event?
Since the last July 26th in Adelaide, where it was the very first time, and I might commemorate the South Australian youth for putting up that National Youth Forum within the July 26th. It was very, very well attended, and the information in there was very good. So we're trying to do the same back in Darwin. And I can rest assured everyone, you know, every youth around Australia, every Liberian youth, that we're going to be doing the same in Darwin. So we're going to be having a National Youth Forum. In that forum, you have the opportunity to voice a concern about the community as a whole, about Folica as a whole, all right? About how youth can be effective within the community, about how needs can be identified. So anybody who have questions regarding youth roles within our community, I rest assure you those questions will be answered within Darwin, because you have others educated youth there willing, you have community leaders in our forum willing to answer these questions. So within Darwin, we're looking forward to the National Youth Forum in Darwin. That's what all youth looking forward to, because there where we're able to express, there where we're able to develop programs, there where we will be able to actually the needs analysis that we're talking about, there where we'll be able to come together as communities to identify the needs, and then we can put in our plans as a leadership.
Okay, so like just maybe one more question, but just looking at the youth, and you know, when we talk about youth, we talk about future, but our community now, what are some of the key roles? It could be leadership, or what are some of the key roles you think the youth could fill? What are some of the ways the youth could be a central and key part of the community?
No, it starts from the foundation, all right? It starts from your own state, it starts from your own family, and it starts from your own home, you know. And being a productive youth, or being a productive community members, it starts from how well you support your community, all right? How well you attend community meetings, how well you attend youth meetings, all right? How well you engage within your community. Because if you engage within your community, for example, there is opportunity, like the president stated previously, there's always opportunity for you to put your hands up to even contest the Folica election. There's always opportunity for you to put your hands up to contest the national youth election. But you first of all have to actually engage within your community, because it's important, because people need to know you. People need to know exactly what you're achieving or what you're doing for your community, your local community. So like for example, before I was appointed to the role of being a national youth chairman, I was a youth leader in Darwin, in the Northern Territory. I lived there for 4.5 years. All right, and I was a youth leader there, and I did a tremendous job when I was back in Darwin as a youth leader. And based upon the job that I did and the engagement that I have within the community, that's what ascended me to the position of being a national youth chairman. So it's important that heaps of role within Folica, that heaps of role within the community on a national level, that heaps of role within the community on the local level. But you firstly have to be engaged within your community, if that through the soccer team or the kickball team, or just being a youth member or being a youth leader, or even within sub communities, or within the various or sub groups. Just being the matter of fact that when you are engaging, it helps. You know, it helps. It makes the whole world different.
Okay, so is there any last word for your youth out there?
Yeah, I want to say a very big thank you to firstly to my leadership, Mr. Emmanuel Flomo, who is the Secretary General for the National Youth, and he is the current president or the youth chairman for Victoria, that is Melbourne. He been very instrumental in this whole youth establishment. He been doing a very good job, and working along with him been a very good ride with experience in youth development. And also to Louis Davis, which is who is the current youth president for South Australia. Louis Davis been very supportive. I can have a lot of chat with her. She very wise. She know exactly where she taking the South Australian youth. And to the team of South Australia, you know, like the youth leadership team, I just want to say big thank you to them, because they are doing something very much important that other community will look at in the future and say, yeah, we can follow the blueprint that the South Australian youth is doing, because they are in terms of youth development, they are far ahead in terms of how organized they are. And this is something that we're looking at from the national spectrum to see how best we can use their own format to send it across, or to roll it across all states and territories, so people can look at it, but they are doing very well. I also want to say thank you to Mr. Julius Sawyer, who is the PRO officer for the National Youth.
Okay.
He's doing a great job, and also what he's doing with his community. The same goes to Princess Folica. I want to say big thank you to her as well, and to Ambassador Bobby Whitfield, you know, for the opportunity, because he brought a whole vision, you know, to empower young people, and it takes a lot, you know. Looking at the previous leadership of Folica, Ambassador Bobby Whitfield have been very instrumental to say, look, there's a need that young people get voice into Folica, because tomorrow the future is for the young people of Folica. So yeah, I would say a very big thank you to Ambassador Bobby Whitfield, and yeah, to all state leaders, you know, to all the state leaders, the state and territory leaders, especially to the people of Darwin, you know, to the leader of Darwin, for the opportunity given us as national youth to work with them in planning the July 26th. You know, it's a great opportunity. I really appreciate the fact that I can work with them, or the Youth National Board can work with them, you know, to be an assistant by any means. And also to you guys, you know, for this forum, you know, it's an opportunity given to us, because now very often you see things that is happening within our community. So I want to say thanks to the crew, to you two, or to the guys behind the camera, to Bobby and to Isaac. You know, it's just wonderful that you guys are doing this, and I appreciate every bit of what you guys doing, and just continue doing what you guys doing. You know, there is a light, you know, beyond the tunnel. So yeah, and I also want to say a big thank you to Mr. Francis Davis, you know, the chairman for the Liberian community in Queensland. Yeah. You know, I just want to say a big thank you to him, and to Marvin Gay, who is the youth chairman in Queensland. I want to say thank you to him. To Bill, Bill is the national, not national, but the youth chairman in Western Australia. I want to say thanks to Bill. and to the rest of the guys that lead in leadership in the various states and territories, whether in youth capacity or community capacity. I want to say big thank you to them, because without them we can do our job. And and to the team that really playing the July 26th, to the planning committee, to Pastor Stephen George, who is the planning committee chairman. I want to say a very, very big thank you to Pastor Stephen George, to Mr. Gabriel Yemwe, who is the chairman for the Northern Territory. I want to say a very big thank you to him as well. And it's very important. The July 26th is very important because if you go through the history, of Liberia, 1847, it was a great milestone for Liberia, to be recognized as an independent nation. So with that, it gave us the opportunity as Liberians to say, oh yes, we have an independent recognized state, and if you look at the history and the fact that our forefathers or presidents from past, were able to give us that opportunity, to fight for independence, for Liberia to be recognized. Liberia is one of the oldest independent states, and from 1847, and looking at what we went through the civil crisis and all things, every independent day comes because we missed almost 10 years, 12 years of celebrating independence through the Civil War. So if we have the opportunity to do so, in a very strange land, it's very important that as Liberians we come together to celebrate that, because it's like celebrating your birthday. Everybody, what are you going to celebrate very excessively, or you just going to celebrate by being cool on that day, but you're always excited when your birthday is at hand, because there's another year adding on you. That's how we as Liberians have to be excited whenever we're approaching July 26th, because it's a very big milestone for us. It's a very important time in the history of Liberia, and it will always be a very important time. And this is the time that we as parents, that in the Western society, we can sit to educate our children that we born in the Western society about the importance of the July 26th. It's not just for merrymaking, it's not just for having a whole state hosting July 26th and go and party and play soccer. It's also about education, about educating our children on the process of July 26th and how they can learn about Liberia, because it's very important to learn about Liberia, because at the end of the analysis, one day we all going to fly back to Liberia. We all going to have, as the president of the Federation of Liberian Community, Pastor Whiffy was saying, there will be a time we all going to fly back in Liberia, and we shouldn't stay and be a passive or spectator, but rather an active spectator, by ensuring that we can learn we can teach our children and ourselves to have a voice into Liberia. So not just this July 26th, not just because it is Darwin, we're trying to promote Darwin. It should happen for every July 26th, that we should always be passionate about the July 26th. Thank you very much.
Thank you too, brother, and best of luck with your leadership, and I hope you lead the youth in the best direction.